Good morning, Bulldogs. I'm Levi, and this is your school news. Seniors, tomorrow is the last day to put in your orders for caps, gowns, and class rings. Make sure you get all of those orders put in. Wednesday the 27th, FCA will hold their first See You at the Pole before school at 6:40. That's all for this week.
Good morning, Bulldogs. My name is Riley.
And my name is Jonathan.
And this is your sports news. On Saturday the 23rd, cross country has a meet at Northeast Creek and volleyball goes against White Oak here at home.
On Monday the 25th, our golf team goes against Star Hill.
On Tuesday the 26th, volleyball has another game, this time versus Richlands here at home. Tennis goes against West Carteret at Fort Benjamin. And JV and varsity soccer go to White Oak.
Playing on Wednesday the 27th, cross country has a home meet against White Oak and West Carteret.
On Thursday the 28th, our tennis team goes back to Fort Benjamin Park to face Croatan.
The same day, JV and varsity soccer have a home game against West Carteret, once again. Finally, JV football goes to West Carteret.
That's all for this week.
Good morning, Bulldogs. My name is Charlotte, and welcome back to your world news. In our first story today, the migrant crisis in New York City continues to worsen. It's been ongoing for over a year now, and the city is strained to its limits. The numbers on September 10th were listed over 113,000 from spring of last year, and that number has only grown over the last 2 weeks. Hotels and homeless shelters have reached their breaking point, and Mayor Adams warns that it could cost the city $12 billion over the next 3 years. Additionally, due to the long waiting period, many migrants are unable to work to get visas, rendering them, many with families, unable to work. Additionally, with the influx of families, the already overcrowded schools will only get worse. In Slovakia, their next election is coming up, and the campaign frontrunners are campaigning against aiding Ukraine. Despite being one of the first NATO countries to offer support in the forms of Soviet-era fighter jets and advanced air defense systems, confidence in the war has waned, and the general population seems to believe the West is to blame for the war, not Russia. Robert Fico, who was already prime minister twice before from 2006 to 2010 and from 2012 to 2018, is the leader of the party. The city of Derna in Libya, a North African country, suffered disaster after the dams broke under pressure on September 11th. For years, experts have been warning that the dams needed to be refurbished, as they've been barely maintained since their construction in the 1970s. Unfortunately, government corruption and civil war rendered these warnings and efforts null and void. These dams broke on the morning of September 11th, resulting in mass destruction of the city and an untold death count. The count of missing and dead casualties differs depending upon the agency, with no definitive count in sight. To wash out some of the sourness, a Colorado man named Waldemar Bud Tash returned home from a long camping trip in the Colorado wilderness to having won the lottery. He took the option of receiving it all at once in cash, coming home with over $2 million. His first purchases were a watermelon for himself and flowers for his wife. In Brewster, New York, firefighters have rescued a man trapped from an abandoned mine. He had visited the mine with 4 friends and became trapped on a lower ledge. His friends spent several hours trying to pull him up themselves before the firefighters arrived. He was pulled up shortly after midnight on Monday, escaping with no injuries. For our last story of the day, 5 American citizens have been released from an Iranian prison as part of a deal between the U.S. and Iranian governments. Siamak Namarzi, Ahmad Shargi, Murad Tabaz, and 2 others that requested they remain anonymous were arrested at various times and for various crimes, but all were sentenced to 10 years in prison. Namazi is an oil executive and was arrested for his ties to a hostile government. The U.S. Shargi is a businessman and was arrested twice, released initially but arrested again in 2020, and given the charge of espionage in 10 years. Tabaz's crimes are unknown, but he was similarly sentenced to 10 years. The 5 will be coming back in exchange for 5 Iranian and Iranian-American prisoners, all arrested in the States on nonviolent charges, and $6 billion meant to be put towards humanitarian efforts. That's all for the news today. Have a great day, Bulldogs.
Good morning, I'm Aiden with your weather forecast for this weekend. Today we'll have sunny weather with a high of 76 degrees and a low of 63 degrees. Tomorrow we'll have rain showers with a high of 68 degrees and a low of 63 degrees. And tomorrow we'll have cloudy skies with a high of 75 degrees and a low of 62 degrees. There might be occasional dense fog this weekend. Stay safe out there, Bulldogs.
So personally, I think that this show this year compared to last year, it's more darker. It has a lot more character to it, and it's some of the hardest drill I've done, I think. But it's been a learning experience for everybody, and everybody's taking it at their own pace, and we're working through it, and it's really exciting. And I'm excited to see how everything turns out.
Oh, I loved the show this year. It's so much better than Bounty. Not that Bounty wasn't good, but I think that the show this year, as Sadie said, it was a lot darker, and I'm into a lot of darker things. And I love all the solo opportunities because it gives everybody a chance, all the different instruments a chance to be heard. And as far as the band program overall, I'm so excited because it's growing a lot, like a lot. We're having a lot of 8th graders coming for 8th grade night next year. I think 30 is coming this year, and I think even more, so I'm very excited to see how the band grows.
So I'm here with
Caleb Tipton,
Trinity Naderise,
Mr. Eamon,
Aliana Brown.
All right, and today I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to tell you to name 5 of something, and you have 5 seconds to name it, okay? So we're going to do name 5 subjects in school.
math,
1,
ELA,
2,
history, Spanish,
3.
art.
Okay. That's all you need.
You're going to name 5 school supplies in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
pencils, notebooks, binders, rulers, folders, and your computer.
That's 6.
I don't know. I wasn't counting.
So we're going to have you name 5 teachers at this school.
Wow.
1,
Bailey,
2,
Loving
3,
Good,
4,
Henderson.
5.
Alright. Name 5 teachers in 5 seconds. Ready? Go.
Mr. Tomlinson, Mr. Capico, Miss Moore, Coach Ball, and Mr. Lovingood.